Trump News, the testimony of Trump's offspring in the civil fraud trial that took place in New York. During the trial of Donald Trump's civil fraud lawsuit in October at the Supreme Court of New York State, the spotlight moved to Lower Manhattan and his numerous legal troubles. February 16th is when the judge is likely to hand down a verdict. Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, is requesting a fine and additional consequences totaling $370 million. According to Judge Arthur Engoron's previous rulings, Mr. Trump falsified his wealth claims in order to sign agreements and acquire loans from financial institutions such as banks and insurers. In her lawsuit, Ms. James accuses the Trump Organization of filing false financial statements for multiple real estate projects it developed between 2011 and 2021. The former president achieved this by inflating the values of his most valuable assets, such as his Palm Beach, Florida residence at the Mar-a-Lago Club and his Midtown Manhattan triplex penthouse in Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue. A pretrial verdict that includes the loss of the Trump clan's business licenses in the state put their whole real estate enterprise in New York in jeopardy. The trial featured under oath testimony from 3 of Mr. Trump's adult children. What role did they play in the case? Answer: all 3 Trump children, Donald Jr., Eric, and Ivanka, served as executives for the Trump family business that was at the center of the dispute. Former Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg, their father, and former company controller Jeff Wiconi were first named as co-defendants, with all 3 of them, Don Jr. and Eric, served as their father's emissaries at the Trump Organization under Weisselberg's leadership as president. Prior to it, they had also played an integral role in the development of several projects, including those involving highly esteemed properties like the Trump International Hotels in Chicago and Washington, D.C., as well as golf courses in Westchester County and Miami. Since Judge Arthur Engoron had already ruled prior to the trial that fraud had taken place, the testimony of Don Jr. and Eric is crucial to comprehending the company's inner workings, because they were signatories to the bogus documents that formed the basis of the scam. When put on the stand, they both fumbled over information and blamed the accountants and attorneys they hired to draft the financial records they signed, claiming that they were innocent of any wrongdoing. Emails and other documents seemed to prove otherwise, though, suggesting they were involved in appraisals and helped prepare bank accounts of financial status. Ivanka, their sister, was able to get herself removed from the list of defendants in June of last year after an appeals court found in her favor, stating that the charges against her were too old, foregoing her position as executive vice president at the Trump Organization. The eldest daughter of the former president stated in January 2017, just before her father's inauguration, that she would be becoming an unpaid senior advisor in his White House. She separated herself from the family company and her father's political aspiration once she relocated to Florida after his term ended, but the state's attorneys insisted that she was an integral part of the events at issue. Thus, she had no choice but to testify. She is still professionally and financially tied to the family firm and its executives. Judge Engoron concurred, using records that demonstrated Ivanka's ongoing affiliations with some New York firms and her continuous ownership of Manhattan properties. According to court documents, Ivanka was involved in the negotiation and financing of several properties while working for the Trump Organization. These properties included financing for Trump's Doral Golf Resort near Miami, the Trump International Hotel and Condominiums in Chicago, and a lease and loan for the former Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C. Even after she left for the White House, Ivanka kept a financial stake in the Trump Organization's activities, including a stake in the now-sold Washington Hotel. According to the Office of the New York Attorney General, the denial of her appeal occurred while her brothers were testifying. Judge Engoron will have to make a decision on 6 separate counts, including conspiracy, insurance fraud, fabricating company records, and the pretrial ruling. Did Trump's offspring make any comments? The New York Attorney General's office combed through Mr. Trump's children's phone records, email correspondence, and discussions spanning over a decade. Even though they denied having any involvement in most of the interactions, after learning they were under investigation, the prosecution questioned Eric over a video chat he had in 2021 with Don Jr. and others about the money accounts. Out of the thousands of calls I take every day, I cannot remember which one you refer